Hey everyone, it's Rihanna and welcome back to another video. Today I'm finally going to be doing my next installment for More Movie Reviews. This is More Movie Reviews number 9 and today I am playing catch up for 2015 movies. So these are either late releases that the UK are only just getting that the US got a while ago, or films that were released in mid 2015 that I've literally just caught in the cinema. So today I'm going to be talking about 4 films which I've really wanted to see but have only got around to watching. So the first film I want to review for you guys is the Lobster, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, and I'm probably butchering his name right now, but I have no idea how to say it. He has done films such as Dogtooth, and this is his first English language speaking film. So The Lobster is based in a dystopian near future where if you're living in the city and you're a singleton, you are sent to this place called the hotel, and in the hotel you have 45 days to find a romantic partner, or you're turned into an animal and sent into the woods to fend for yourself. Now this concept sounds very bizarre, and that's because it is. This film is bizarre entirely. You're watching the screen and you just can't look away because every single moment you're intrigued as to what's going to happen next, because this film is executed so well. It's so simplistic and subtle at times and says a lot without saying much at all, and that's what I absolutely loved about The Lobster. I'd been told going into The Lobster you were either going to love it or hate it at the end, and I absolutely ended up loving this film. We follow the main character called David, who is played by Colin Farrell, who has just found out his wife has been cheating on him with another man, and he has to go into the hotel to find a romantic partner. And it's just so interesting watching this world unfold and seeing how these people have been kind of brainwashed into thinking you can't get a romantic partner unless you have the exact same quality. So he's short-sighted and he believes that his future love is going to be short-sighted. They've been really brainwashed into thinking that that is the only way that you can love somebody, and it's a really interesting change in the near future that people have become like this, and I think that's what the writing does really well in this film. It unfolds a world that's really subtle, it's believable, and it's really simplistic, but it's really original and creative and bizarre at the same time. Every character in this film speaks very directly, and there is no boundary to what these characters can say, and that's where the satirical humour and the dark humour comes from, and that humour worked so well in this film. It was very British, if I do say so myself, but I just think it brought such an edge and such a quirky feel to this film. The cast of this film actually involves some really big names, from John C. Reilly to Ben Whishaw to Lea Seydoux to Rachel Weisz and Colin Farrell, and I think they worked so well together. It's really nice to see these top Hollywood stars doing an indie film like this and giving it a chance, just because it's so original, so bizarre, and so simplistic at the same time. It's great to know that movies like this are being made and have love going into them. I would say The Lobster is a near perfect film, from how it plays into the direct dialogue going into the dark humour. No matter how tedious it can get, it really incorporates well into this bizarre, believable near future that is just played out so fantastically. I love little bits in this film that are to do with the world building. I think it's done perfectly. And no matter how slow the pace of this film is, considering it's a 2-hour-long film and I felt like I was in there for 2.5 hours, you can't not watch this screen. You're intrigued every single minute of this film. Watching these characters play out, watching this world play out is so interesting. It's super original, intriguing. If you appreciate filmmaking and original stories, definitely go check out The Lobster. I'm going to be giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. The next film I want to talk about is Diary of a Teenage Girl, which came out in mid 2015 and was directed by Marielle Heller, and it revolves around a character called Minnie, who's a 15-year-old girl living in the 70s in San Francisco who gets in a sexual relationship with her mother's much older boyfriend. In the film, Minnie is played by Belle Powley, who gives such an honest, raw performance in this film. She makes the character of Minnie super relatable. She has normal hopes and dreams of becoming a cartoon artist, but when she gets involved with an older man, her head just starts to fill with dreams and all she can think about is him. And I remember being a 15-year-old girl and just thinking the world revolved around boys. It's a realistic, funny and brilliant coming of age story. You really see Minnie's adolescence play out in this film. You see her go through so many different emotions and phases as a teenager where she doesn't really know what she's doing with her life, but she has this one dream she's aspiring for where things just keep getting in the way. And I just thought the direction of this film, done by Marielle Heller, was just fantastic. It was realistic. I love the colour palette, the styling of this film since it's set in the 70s. The soundtrack is great in this film as well. I love the music used. I just think as a whole package, this is such a great realistic coming of age story. I love how they used the animated style in this film. I thought it was super creative and quirky and just fitted so well into the character of Minnie, who is super creative with her comic book artistry. And I just think Diary of a Teenage Girl says something different, does something different as a coming of age story. Everything in Diary of a Teenage Girl just works, from the acting from Belle Powley, Alexander Skarsgård and Kristen Wiig, who were also fantastic in the film, to the cartoon artistry, which is just really unique and a visual, to the colour palette, to the soundtrack, to how hilariously funny as well as realistic this film is. I absolutely love Diary of a Teenage Girl and I'm going to be giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. Up next on the review board is Spotlight, directed by Tom McCarthy, which is the film that's getting so much Oscar buzz, which stars Rachel McAdams, Michael Keaton, Mark Ruffalo and Stanley Tucci. Now this film probably deserves its own review in its own right because it is such an Oscar buzz movie that is very huge at the moment. But I saw this film so late because it literally just got released in the UK last weekend. I thought I would quickly add it into More Movie Reviews at number 9. Now Spotlight tells the true story of how a small group of journalists from the Boston Globe uncover the massive scandal of child molestation and cover up in their local Catholic church, shaking the whole world's Catholic church to its core. Now a film that has such a harsh subject matter needs to be tackled really delicately, but with a lot of force, and I think all around Spotlight is such a solid film, from the acting ensemble, which is incredible, from Mark Ruffalo, who gives a great performance. His character was the one who needed to get to the bottom of things, questioning his morality and his faith to the church. Everything in his character was just driving it to the end. I loved following his character because he was the one that was so focused on this case. He was the one going places and doing things and just trying to get to the bottom of things. Now it's not to say that the other characters weren't doing the same thing, because there are really nice subtle moments in this film where it's really gut-punching and hard-hitting in tiny little things they do because they all want to get to the bottom of this, but Mark Ruffalo's performance was incredible. We also have actors like Michael Keaton, Rachel McAdams and Stanley Tucci in this film who all do fantastic jobs. As I said, the ensemble is incredible. Direction and writing in this film is really solid, and how they tackle the subject matter is really solid as well. And I keep using that word solid because for me, Spotlight was a little bit too safe in its creative choices as a film. If you love investigative journalism, you are really going to love Spotlight. You go deep into the dark past of these priests and how it came to be and how they find out all of this information, and going to the lawyers and going to the victims of this molestation. It's really interesting to watch unfold and see how shocking it was and to see how it shook the world. But for me, I think the creative decisions in this film were a little bit too safe. As I said, there are those moments of hard-hitting and gut-punching discoveries in this film that I thought are done really well, but a lot of the time I just felt like this film was really slow and not getting anywhere too soon. As I already know, it took time for this investigation to unfold. It took time for them to uncover information, but I think with a film like this, you need to keep its general audience really intrigued at all times. And there were times in the film where I was getting a little bit bored, and I just felt guilty for feeling bored in this film because it is overall great filmmaking. It's really solid, the cast is fantastic, and it has such a subject matter that is important, and it is an informative film and it's important to see. However, I don't think Spotlight is as good as everyone else thinks it is. And for that reason, I'm going to be giving Spotlight a 3.5 stars out of 5. I really wish I loved Spotlight a lot more than I do. I do think it's a great film and people should see it. I just was a little bit disappointed with it. And the last film I want to review in this video is The Big Short, directed by Adam McKay, which probably also deserves its own review video. However, my channel, my video, so it's going into More Movie Reviews number 9. Anyway, The Big Short tells the true story of 4 outsiders in finance who were the ones that predicted the financial crisis of 2008. And we have such a great ensemble cast in this film, including Ryan Gosling, Christian Bale, Steve Carell, and Brad Pitt. And we also have a director in Adam McKay, who went from doing Anchorman to The Big Short, a finance comedy drama movie. Transformation Tuesday, I do say so myself. Now, I'm not the type of person to find banking and finance really interesting. I actually think it's really boring. But something that The Big Short does really well is keeping this movie entertaining, from the interesting way that it's edited to the fast-paced dialogue to the acting in this film. I think the acting in this film is spot on. I love the characters in this film. I think they're really intriguing, interesting and intelligent characters. I think the best character in my opinion is Mike, who was played by Christian Bale in the film, and I loved his character. He had such great character traits that I just found so interesting and so detailed. I wanted to follow him throughout the whole film. And then with the character of Mark, played by Steve Carell, who I think the film focused a little bit too much on at points, considering he was the one who was the most developed and the one that had the most background. I think it was the only right choice to focus on him. However, I just found the other characters more interesting than Mark's character. We also have the character of Brad Pitt, who was in the film a little less time than I would have hoped. And then we have the standout performance in this film, who was Ryan Gosling. I loved his character, Jared, who who is this kind of cocky trader, and I love how he uses his comedic timing in this film. Who knew Ryan Gosling could be so funny? I think the writing in this film is done so well. There is a lot of financial terminology that I did not understand in this film. It went in one ear and out the other, and I forgot about it by the end of this film. So most of the time when they were talking about finance, I had no clue what they were saying. But The Big Short does something to help its audience out when it comes to the financial terminology. They will break the fourth wall, look directly in the camera at us, the audience, and say, look, this is a term. We know you're probably not going to understand it, so here's Margot Robbie in a bathtub to explain it for you guys. So they just keep it entertaining and interesting throughout the film. As I said, I love the way the film was edited, and I love how they layer the images of what's going to happen in the future to the events of the past. I thought it was really clever. It's an interesting topic to discuss in a film like this that is a comedy financial drama, and the way that they portray it is done really well. They keep it entertaining, they keep it interesting, and I was definitely educated coming out of The Big Short. The Big Short overall is a really entertaining movie, from the acting and the stand-up performances from Ryan Gosling and Christian Bale to the really interesting, kind of annoying at the beginning direction style from Adam McKay, which progressed through the film and I really liked towards the end. It's such an interesting topic to follow, and I'm glad they kept us entertained throughout with this cool editing and amazing writing. I'm going to be giving The Big Short a 4 out of 5 stars. I'm so glad I could find a film about banking and money and boring subjects as entertaining as I did with The Big Short. Good job, guys. So that is it for more movie reviews number 9. Let me know down below in the comments some more movies I should review in my next video. I will definitely be getting round to everyone's suggestions very soon. If you've seen any of the movies I've reviewed in this video, which I'm pretty sure you all have, let me know what you thought of it down below in the comments. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be doing lots more TV reviews and movie reviews for you guys very soon. As usual, you can find all my social media links, including my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and Letterboxd, down below in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's all I have for you today. Bye!